here the whole time, I'm sure. I've loved every dog I've ever owned, you know what I mean? Like, I'm definitely a dog person, but just from the aspect of like, I guess personality and disposition and like intelligence kind of thing or whatever, has been a new experience for me with having, I guess, this little dude in my lap when I'm working or wherever I go, he's right behind me or whatever. But it's been good. It's been healthy. Yeah, I mean, it's just stuff like this. You know what I'm saying? And like when I'm at work, if I'm working a piece of equipment, he's just sitting like this all day long. You know, he's intrigued. I mean, he's got a super cool personality and disposition. It comes across if you just hang out with him for a little while, you know what I mean? But even just, it's like him sitting here. Sometimes he'll just sit there and he'll move his eyes or move his ears, and it's almost like you can look at him and tell he's thinking about something, but you don't know what it is. But then all of a sudden he might do something, and then you'd be like, oh yeah, that's what he was checking out. I mean, at some point in time, somebody had to have him, but he looked like he'd been living in the woods. He had no toenails. Weirdest thing, like his toenails were almost wore down completely to nothing. And the vet said that they thought that was either the case of he was living on his own and he's out there in the woods digging through who knows what trying to find food, or somebody that was keeping him had him like on concrete, like rough concrete, and him trying to work his way out of the fence or whatever he was trying to do, just like wore it down to where he had no toenails. Back, the people at the job site start bringing up the whole thing. They're like, hey man, you ever heard of Turd Ferguson? And I was like, yeah, I've heard of it, like the skit and the comedic standpoint of it, I guess you would say. I was like, but what do you mean Turd Ferguson? He's like, well, that's what I'm talking about. He goes, but if somebody asked you if you had ever seen a Turd Ferguson, he's like, what would you think of? He goes, don't you think that little dog sitting right there looked like he would be a Turd Ferguson? And it was like me, the guy that said it, and like 2 or 3 other people, like all at one time, we were like, yeah, he definitely looks like a Turd Ferguson. So I didn't plan on keeping him, you know what I mean? It was kind of like a little thing that, yeah, he's a little Turd Ferguson until I can find him a home, and then somebody else will name him whatever they want him to be able to mingle with their home. But that was the first day. The second day I had to take him back to work. Thank you, buddy. Second day I had to take him back to work with me, and I'm working on a ladder. I'm on top of the ladder, and then next thing I know, somebody tells me to look down, and I look down at my feet, and he's climbed the ladder all the way up to the bottom of my feet. So he's probably like 4 foot off the ground, you know what I mean? And he's just like standing there at the bottom of my feet. And then it was, I mean, I wasn't really paying him close attention. I just had him around the job site, but it was like, then I realized how much it was, I guess, like his mission to find out where I'm at and always like literally be under my heels or in my shadow, you know? Yeah, I feel like he definitely didn't seem to be able to have any attention, I guess. And then whenever I found him, I think it was that whole thing, like, wherever he was before, he never had that kind of emotional interaction with a human being. And that's basically what dogs are pretty much evolved into relying on for the most part. You know what I mean? Yeah, they like being around other dogs, but they still like being around people. It probably wasn't even 5 minutes after I got his hair cut and we got in the truck. He crawled over in my lap and laid down just like this and then just went to sleep. But even still, like I say, I guess I kind of just swallowed that and took on the extra responsibility on top of this responsibility and all other responsibilities. But it's well worth it.